Hello people, how are you all today? Hope you're all doing well. Who we got here? Okay, who we got? Why are you not saying anything? Oh, it's Dale, okay. Yeah. Alright, how you doing today anyway? Hang on. What's going on here? I'm good, that's good to hear then. Yeah, I'm okay, I guess. Yeah, I'll make sure I'm not overtraining. Your fitness is improving leaps and bounds. Yeah, maybe I'm just not really seeing it that much, but I suppose like when it comes to like the squats and things, and it's just like slow progress, and it's sometimes it's hard to notice like your improvements when it's happening so slowly. But you got to look back at where you've come from and be like, oh wow, I've actually made a lot of improvements since then. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, like the live people, got 8 people here. Can you just give me a like, please? Yeah, how are we doing, everybody? Hope you're all having a blessed day. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get 1.5k subscribers soon. So also gonna get monetized soon, hopefully. So come and have a chat with us if you don't mind. Your neck, your shoulders, to me, and to me, your overall physique looks improved. Yeah, I don't even really notice the physique really much because it's probably because I see it all the time, and it's like I mean, it's like say like a few months ago, but like when I look in the mirror, I think I look the same as what I did then. Even if I look back at photos and be like, oh yeah, I see some changes, but like it's just yeah, I just like have this like body dysmorphia and all that, and still not very happy with it, and yeah, maybe it'll help when I get more definition and lean down more and just kind of like, because right now it's like we've got this kind of thing here where it's like it's just kind of, yeah. I know like for some people they might be like, oh, but you've got my dream body and all that. Well, I'm not happy with it, so yeah. I don't see any more definition coming through. Like it just seems to be kind of, I don't know. Maybe I've not got the best ab genetics or something. I don't know, but I just like some people seem to be able to get abs at higher body fat or something than I have, and it's like they're, I don't know. Like I've never really had the best abs or anything like that. It's just, even though I've been trying to train them hard, it's just, I don't know. It just seems to be wherever your fat is stored. It's yeah, you just gotta. I'll have to just cut down more, try and get my body fat down more, and just yeah. But that's something I'm not doing right now because I'm trying to focus on building, trying to be in a calorie surplus, which kind of sucks in a way because I'm having to eat so much food every day. But yeah, it is what it is. Right, trying to build that mass. Yeah, it's just I don't know like how much more I want to try and build because at a certain point I've just got to like be like, okay, I'm happy with where I am with the mass. But like you have to just kind of get to that point where you're like, I've done enough now. I'm happy with that. But a lot of people just never seem to get to that point where they're happy with it and just plateau there and focus on other things. Like, because you can't really focus on other things when you're when you're just like so hyper obsessed with getting bigger and bigger, even though you're getting diminishing returns. And that's why you see a lot of them going on gear to keep getting improvements to their physique. But the thing is, like, it doesn't really improve your physique, it just makes it look awful after a point. You have all these veins popping out, and it causes a lot of problems. Like, you can end up with, like, you know, wrinkles and all these problems because your skin collagen goes down, and there's sort of a whole list of different things that can go wrong when you're on these things that really wreck your physique, or can wreck your physique at least. But yeah, how are we doing, everybody? Make sure you like the light, share the light, subscribe if you're new here. So I'm very much against like PED use, unless you're one of these people that absolutely needs to do it for whatever sport you're in. But I would say, well, why are you even doing that anyway? Why do you need to be Mr. Olympia? Or, and the thing is, you're probably not even going to get there anyway. So you're taking this chance in the hope that you're going to get big or get famous or whatever. For what though? You might not even, it might not even help that much. Yeah, it might help a little bit, but you could try and find other ways to be successful in life. It's like, why does that have to be the way that you be successful in life? Can you not find some way that you're a service to people and be a positive influence on people instead of being a negative influence, like for these fucking togi people who are just fucking, you know, just promoting degeneracy, like gambling and, you know, sleeping around with loads of women and so if one, and just, you know, doing drugs, you know, like, yeah. So if one wants to take PEDs and stick needle into his ass, that's on him, yeah. But it's when people start promoting it online and glorifying it, like these people like Togi, and it's even like influenced that Alex Eubank to start taking it as well. And he admitted himself that it was a Togi that got him into it. So, yeah. So what is he? He was trying to like do this whole thing of like, oh, I'm not doing it for anybody else, I'm doing it to prove something to myself. It's like, well, but your whole brand is like appealing to other people. So what? Yeah. So it's just, he just seems very much like impressionable, shall we say. That's the problem with a lot of these influencers. They can be quite vulnerable in certain ways, that they taste that success, and then if they stop getting that success and they're dropping off, then they're like, oh, what can I do to, you know, be relevant? Because they start getting friends with these toxic influencers, and then they might, you know, convince them into doing certain things that might boost their popularity again, and they become kind of, because everyone's talking about it now, you know, everyone's talking about, oh, Alex Eubank's not natural and all that. So it causes everyone to freak out, and it just creates controversy. So it's just, I don't know, a lot of it's these people that get a lot of views. It's like you got these people like Jack Doherty and all that, and they thrive off the controversy because that's what gets them the views. But it looks like it's backfired on him now, and he's on a platform with hardly any viewers, and yeah, doesn't look too good for him at the moment. So this is the thing, it's like, if you keep on like fucking up, and then eventually you're just going to end up causing yourself a lot of problems. Like, you're going to get a lot of haters. If you mess with the wrong person as well, like, it could be the last thing you do. So I'm just saying, be very, very careful what you're doing. Because there's some quite savage people on the internet who will, yeah, if you mess with them, they will want you to not exist anymore, shall we say. So yeah, be very, very careful. So many of these influencers in recent years have unfortunately passed away. Yeah, exactly, because they just, of their reckless behaviour of like, yeah, you look at people like Joel Lynn, whatever it was called, like the German guy who was like only like 30 years old, was he, something like that? who passed away, and I think it was to do with, there was probably different reasons. It was probably a combination of the steroid use and the stimulants that he was using, and it just messed his health up, and yeah. It's just these things keep on happening, and it's quite alarming. And some people say, oh, but there's safe ways to use them. Like you get people like Tony Huge, and it's, oh, but it can be done safely. Well, no, steroids can never be done safely because they increase growth hormone in your body. You do not want that. You do not want to increase growth hormone all over your body. You know what that's going to do? It's going to promote cancer. Yeah, it promotes the formation of, because it's just going to basically increase entropy you're doing, because you're creating more oxidative stress in your body. And that means you're going to be creating more entropy and more, you're creating more, disorder in your body. It's like, mostly people don't even understand these things. Like, people think they're invincible and all that. Oh yeah, Ziz, yeah. But he was taking steroids, wasn't he? Because he was trying to rush the process. Like, he could have probably got that physique naturally if he'd have just took another couple of years to do it. But instead they just take the easy way. But that ends up oftentimes being their downfall and even their demise. So yeah, as I say, be careful what you wish for, because oftentimes people do desperate things to get what they want in life, and then that ends up killing them. They want the muscle, the fake tan, the women, and the attention. Yeah, but then it's like, that's great and all that, but then about 10 years later and you're dead and you have none of that. So you wanted all that in this moment, but it's because you don't have any qualities going for you that are redeemable other than that. They have no redeemable qualities other than their muscle, which, if anything, is a red flag to a lot of women. This is why a lot of women are put off by big muscles. Oftentimes they're seen as vain, they're seen as very much, very conscious about their image, which is actually not very masculine at all. They seem very insecure because they have not got anything else going for them. So they're not confident in their abilities, is what it is. They're like overcompensating, and yeah. So I might make a video about this. It's going to piss a lot of people off, but like, even if you take things too far as a natural, in some cases it might not be good, because it's just going to be putting more stress on your body, and your heart's going to have to work harder to do that. I mean, I don't know at some point where it's like unhealthy, but I'd assume for some, like, especially if you're doing a lot of bulking and cutting and things like that, that you're putting more strain on your body. You're causing your cells to divide more, which will then speed up the rate of cancer. Yeah, I don't know any mature women that actually care about a man's six-pack. Granted, I don't have many female friends, but the ones I've met over the years couldn't care less about muscles. Well, I don't necessarily fully agree with what you're saying. I think that it can help. I think having a good, athletic physique can help, actually. It can help you be more attractive, but that's only, initial attraction. But, there's other factors that are more important. But I think having a good, body can get your foot in the door, because yeah, it's not going to look good if they see you without your top on and it looks kind of gross and you've got a beer belly. I'm pretty sure most of them, if they had the choice, would go for the athletic body over the beer belly.
hello the glitch, how you doing? So yeah, I think a lot of them are like, they'll say that they want a guy with a beer belly, but oftentimes that's only because they can't afford the guy that's in shape. Like maybe they're not in shape themselves, or maybe it's just that they would feel self-conscious of themselves because of that. So, but raw attraction, like why is it that all these guys that these women fantasize about are these like, you know, like your fucking 50 Shades of Grey? There's a certain type of guy that they fantasize about. Why is it that you're fucking, you know, like your, what is it called, your you know, like your Magic Mike and all this sort of shit? They're not gonna have like your dad bods, are they? They're not gonna be fat. Like that doesn't really do it for most women. I'm sorry to say, but that's some cap. Like, I mean, come on. Like, imagine like fucking Homer Simpson, you know, like being like you know, like stripping all the clothes off. I don't think that's very, it wouldn't be very erotic, would it? It wouldn't be very much turn a lot of women on, would it? Maybe a small percentage of them would, but I would say like 90-odd% would be like grossed out. Yeah, I'm just, you know, just keeping it 100 here. I mean, yeah, they might say, oh, well, you know, I like to have, what is it? I hear some of these women say, oh, like, I don't like it when it's all just muscle because, you know, I want them to be cuddly and all this bullshit. Like, the truth is that when it comes to like a long-term relationship, yeah, like a lot of these women will choose the guy who's not in the best shape because she probably knows that he's gonna like, but he's more likely to stick around. So, but this is your average woman. If you want a woman who's actually in good shape herself and she's really good looking, then she's probably not gonna go for guys who are like fat and like ugly or whatever. It's just the way it is. How often do you see that? And if she is doing that, there's probably some other reason. He's either probably a sugar daddy or he's, you know, being used in some other way. Like, I don't really think that she would just like really be turned on by that. There's actually this thing called the halo effect where like anything that an attractive guy does is seen as a good quality. So like their personality is seen as good just because they're good looking. For example, if a guy is attractive, right, then and he's I don't know, like, where is it? Like, for example, if he tells a joke, no matter what it is, he'll be seen as funny. But then if an ugly guy says the same joke, he'd be seen as cringy or something like that. Of course, this is like a general rule. Not everybody's going to be like that, but there's this thing called the halo effect, where it's like if you are perceived as attractive by both men and women, actually, that when you say certain things, that you're going to be more well received by people. Now, there's also going to be some people that also, if you talk about your own like goals in life, some people might actually get jealous of that. But those are probably like the losers that are like that. So you're going to get a lot of those, but generally people are going to be more receptive to you if you are seen as attractive. Like you're probably going to be more likely to get a job. You're more likely to. So like I was talking about earlier about how the job market is not fair. Well, just like the dating market is not fair either. The dating market is skewed towards is skewed towards those that have the best genetics. So I do agree with what some of the people say, that you know, if you don't have the best genetics, you're gonna probably find it harder. I do think there is a lot to the whole looks theory. I don't want to be like, oh, some kind of like incel or whatever, or even an incel apologist or anything like that. I'm just saying that there is some truth to what some of these people are saying, that like looks do matter, and whether they want to admit it or not. Like, even if they say that looks don't matter, like you'll never see them date some really ugly guy. So that proves how much bullshit that they are. They want to just try and virtue signal a lot of people, saying, oh, looks don't matter and all this. You're right, people with poor genetics will never look great. I mean, I'm never going to look like a prime David Hay. Yeah, but you've got to just try and focus on being the best that you can and not focus on other people, really. Well, it can be difficult, can't it? Because, yeah, I suppose, like, you know, if you say get like with some woman and you're like, yeah, she's quite attractive, but because when you're around and you're seeing all these women that are like really, really hot, and you feel like you might be missing out, like, by getting with her, like, it's like, oh no, like, I could have maybe done better. And then they might feel like the same if they get with a guy who's, they might feel like is below their level or something like that. And oftentimes they might just stay with them just to use them for a while, just to then throw them aside. So it needs to be kind of like balanced. That's probably why oftentimes couples that are like similar in terms of looks will get together. Hello Tony, how you doing? Welcome in. Couples that are kind of, let's say someone's a 6, then they're likely to get with another one that's around the 6, give or take, but like generally it's going to be around that same, because that's where it'll kind of be more balanced. If one's way higher than the other, then what will tend to happen is that there'll just kind of be some leverage there and like a power imbalance, like where one's more interested than the other, that then is toxic. So yeah, so I don't recommend anyone get with someone that's at a different level to where you are, really. It's just crazy how some people will actually chase after someone that's way out of their league. I know, like, they'll say, oh, looks don't matter that much, but let me tell you that, yeah, they do to a lot of people. Even if it doesn't matter that much to you, but you should probably try and look your best, because to the other person they might actually matter. So now you might say, well, try and find someone that looks don't matter for them, but then you're just going to be cutting off a lot of options then. Like, it makes the most sense to put your best foot forward, to actually put effort into yourself, into the way that you present yourself. Like, if someone put out a meal in front of you and it looks like shit, you wouldn't really want to eat it, would you? Because you're like, ugh, it looks awful. It literally looks like they've just, like, basically just threw it onto my plate from like 10 foot up, and it just looks like it's all smashed up and like they just don't really care. It just looks like slop. And like you just wouldn't be very appetized by it, would you? So it's kind of like the same thing. It's like if you see someone who you find repulsive, like they're overweight, I'm not saying that all overweight people are repulsive, but if you're at a point where you're like 400 pounds, 500 pounds, and you have acne all over, you just don't have good fashion sense or whatever, and like that's just gonna like turn off the vast majority of people. I'm sorry to break that to you, but yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors by doing that. It really doesn't take that much effort to do a lot of this stuff. Even losing weight for most people, I think that if you just kind of be focused on being in a slight calorie deficit, and it doesn't even have to be that much. Like, the lower the deficit, the easier it's going to be. So just focus on maybe, I don't know, lose even just like 1 pound of fat per week. Let's say you're at 300 pounds. That's like only 0.3% of your body weight per week. So you just focus on, you know, losing a little bit of weight per week. After a year, you've lost like 50 pounds. Now you could go a little bit faster than that. You could lose 2 pounds a week, then you'd lose you'd lose 100 pounds after a year. I'd maybe recommend going at that pace. So you lose 2 pounds a week if you're at 300 pounds, because if you've got more to lose, then you should probably go a little bit faster. As you start to get towards your target weight, maybe you would slow it down a little bit. What's that? Recover eventually. What's that? Oh, sorry. What was this? My ex-wife took everything she could get off me when we split up. Be careful, don't make the same mistakes as me. She emptied our banks and took everything we had ever saved up together. I could do nothing. Yeah, best thing to do is have everything in your name. Like your bank should all be in your name. She should have no access to any of that. That your money should be your money. I don't agree with all this thing of, you know, like, that she should be entitled to half. I've heard this thing though that prenuptial agreements don't necessarily, it's not like necessarily like stop you from getting screwed over, but I was watching this video where they talked about putting your money into a trust, but it could be quite expensive. But if you've got a lot of money, then, you know, it might be a good idea to do that, because what you would do is you put it in someone else's name. So in case like you get divorced, then because someone else technically owns it, then they have no right to it. So it's like a way around it, but I don't know how much it costs. But yeah. But that, yeah, it's just you have to really just plan everything out, make sure that you have, yeah. Make sure you have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, as they say. Make sure everything's covered. So then you're kind of peace of mind knowing that if anything goes wrong, you're entitled to any of it. So a lot of guys get screwed over in the divorce court, and I don't agree with the way that they do things. Because oftentimes it favors women, just like child oftentimes favors women when it's like they make it to where like the guy doesn't even get to see the child, but then still has to pay child support. It's like the amount of child support is like crazy as well, because it's based on their income, and it's like, let's say if a guy's making £10,000 a month, and it's like, I've heard that it's quite a high percentage that they have to pay, and it's like they end up getting loads of that money, and most of it isn't even going to the child. It's just bullshit. Like, shouldn't there be a cap on like how much child support you have to pay? What if you're a fucking millionaire? This is the thing you got to be careful of. If you're a millionaire and you have a baby with some broke woman, and it's like she's then gonna try and get child support off you, even though she doesn't need it. Well, I mean, she might need a little bit, I don't know, but the thing is, she shouldn't be having children if she's broke. Like, responsibilities. Then again, I did talk about, you know, like, what was it, like, traditional family unit and all that, where the woman wouldn't, you know, contribute financially and the man would contribute everything financially. But, yeah. But then what if she like takes the kid off him or something and doesn't let him see the child? This is the thing, it's like, let's say, you know, she tries to like get the child taken off him and by making slander and so basically she's just like a stay-at-home wife or whatever. So now she just got the kid all to herself. She might not really let the guy see the child. So she gets to just stay at home and rinse him of his money because he's got, let's say, £10,000 a month, and now she gets like 2,000 a month or whatever, completely for free. Like, and he doesn't get to see the child. Oftentimes, that he doesn't even get the custody. What a fucked up system is that, you know? Yeah. But apparently women are the only ones that are oppressed in society, you know? Bullshit. So anyway, I'm just like ranting here, but you know, it can be quite a dark world sometimes. I don't know like how you're supposed to like prevent these things from happening. So sometimes you just gotta take a risk. Because it's like, oftentimes it all comes down to what kind of lawyer can you get. It's like, it's not fair when people can get a more expensive lawyer and you know, like people getting like people getting these you know, like you know, for like the crimes that they've done. It's like you've got, you know, poor people who they've not done a crime and they can't afford a good lawyer. They end up going down because they believed in the lies of the supposed victim of something, and then someone who's actually done crime, because they've got a good enough lawyer that because they can afford it, because it's like just a drop in the ocean to them. If you're a millionaire, you can get a good lawyer, and it doesn't even set you back that much relative to the amount that you have. They get off with it because of that. It's just not fair. The whole system's corrupt. Like that. Yeah, things need to be sorted out. Like it's not their fault that they can't afford a good lawyer. Like. Anyway, I'm gonna restart the live.